And I don't want to delve too much, because when somebody says I can save the party by working with enemies of the ANC, you can analyze for yourself what kind of a strategic perspective is that, coming from a person who calls himself a commissar, a former intelligence officer, a political strategist, and then says that at the twilight of his time, with all his political consciousness amassed together, that person says, with all of this, I believe I can save the ANC by working with its enemies and opponents and save it back. It's not being disruptive. You are putting the project in danger for yourself. You don't care.
The ANC has finally decided that enough is enough. We are suspending the former president of the ANC and the country, Jacob Zuma. It comes as no surprise to see that ANC is suspending Jacob Zuma, because last year, Zuma decided to go to the media and say that I will not be offering my support to the ANC. I will not be campaigning to the ANC. I will not be voting for the ANC. And in turn, the surprised ANC had to gather to sit around and discuss this move by Jacob Zuma. And finally, yesterday they came and said that the man has to be suspended since, well, he's not willing to die for the ANC. So he might as well just be suspended. So when one sees, looking at the situation, we cannot be surprised. Zuma did not want to go out there and say that I'm resigning, to go out there and say that I'm no longer part of the ANC, I'm just banning my membership, I'm no longer an ANC member. He did not want to tarnish his legacy, which he has with the ANC. He did not want to do that. So he wanted to take the gun and give it to the ANC so that they themselves can be the ones who shoot the first shot. He wanted the ANC to fire him, to suspend him or expel him, so that he can go there and say that, well, I did not leave the ANC voluntarily. They fired me. And once he does that, he knew that he's going to get a lot of support. Well, the wish has come true. They finally decided that Jacob Zuma is no longer part of the ANC. And there's a lot of talks on the media. There's a lot of talk on social media about the credentials of Jacob Zuma. Jacob Zuma is currently heading the Mkondo Wesizwe party, which the ANC is saying that we are going to challenge that name in court because it belongs to the ANC. As much as we know that the MK in the ANC has been disbanded, now they are saying that there is no way that they can use that name, copyright infringement. They cannot use the Umkondo Wesizwe name. They must just leave it as it is. And then Fikile actually is comparing it to Cope, saying that we were surprised when Cope did what they did. We are not surprised by Zuma, but we are not going to let him use the Umkondo Wesizwe name. Now back to the claims on the street where they are speaking about Jacob Zuma. They are saying that, well, Jacob Zuma is heading the Mkondo Wesizwe party, but in fact, Jacob Zuma has no credentials in the Mkondo Wesizwe party. That's what many are saying, speaking about the fact that the decision by Jacob Zuma comes as if Jacob Zuma has been with the Mkondo Wesizwe while he was not. So you have the ANC who's saying that you gave us the ammunition to shoot, we are shooting, we are closing you forever. And Zuma on the other side was really addressing the people over the weekend, and he mentioned the fact that there is a serious problem with the courts where there are people who are running the courts, and to be able to defeat the courts, you must go all out. And he's actually mentioning his arrest and saying that the government of Cyril Ramaphosa was very happy when he was arrested.
Amajaji esikhundleni sokuba alungise akonileyo asho kuzwa wonke umuntu ukuthi uZuma siyomphuca leli lungelo lakhe simfake ejele ngokukhulume ngolaka emajajini bazinika umthetho ongekho kuwona beyamajaji hayi nje asenkantolo ephakeme kodwa engamajaji omthetho sisekelo kwathula kwathi du bangaba bikho umuntu ukuthi majaji ngisana kwenza okubi.
It seems like This is a very serious fight. This is a very serious love and hate fight between Jacob Zuma and Cyril Ramaphosa. Because it's no longer about the ANC. Jacob Zuma is not happy about the fact that he got arrested, he got shamed and all whatnot. And here is Ramaphosa, who has the problems, the scandals of the Phala Phala. So Zuma feels like, well, I need to take a revenge at what you did at me. So for me to do that, I need to go out of the ANC because of now Ramaphosa is running the show. People like Ace Magashule are out. Many people are out. You go and defy him, you see yourself on the out. Now Zuma believes that he can be able to defeat the ANC on the outside. The question is, can Zuma really defeat the ANC? Can Zuma, with the MK party, if indeed the ANC wins the battle against Jacob Zuma and MK party to say that don't use our name, can Zuma really have one up against the ANC? Because fighting and winning against the ANC, it seems like it's not something that's just going to happen out of the blue. It needs people to really work hard. There's a lot of opposition parties that have been fighting. They are still not winning against the ANC. Piece by piece, they are trying, but it is difficult. The legacy of ANC is a rich one to many people. Now here you have Jacob Zuma, who says that Umkhondo Wesizwe, which, to be honest with you, in KZN, that is the root of Umkhondo Wesizwe. In other provinces, it is trying to go out there as it's just been developed just a few months ago. In other provinces, we have not seen it as much as we have seen it in KZN. So Zuma, as of now, if he gets to use that name, definitely he will be a game changer in KZN. But will he be a game changer in some of the provinces? I think not. Because the other provinces are not the same as KZN. KZN is where Jacob Zuma belongs. He comes from there. Remember in the years of apartheid when the Boers were killing the people of South Africa and we went to the elections. When we went to the 1994 election, Jacob Zuma had to be deployed in KZN so that those fights between the Zulus and other people had to be stopped, especially the fact that when you went to KZN, there were other places that you could not go and campaign as the ANC. So Zuma had to be deployed to stop that fight, to stop the fight between the ANC and the IFP. So this is the man who had that influence in KZN, and it's still showing because whatever that is doing, there's a lot of people from the KZN who still support him. Now the ANC says, we are not afraid of you, Jacob Zuma. We actually want you to go out there and be shamed by losing at the elections. But indeed, somehow, they are sitting there wondering if he really wins this rise to use the name, are we really going to survive and win KZN? And if we lose it, is it going to cost us a lot of money, a lot of votes when coming to the 2024 election? Because as of now, it looks like everybody's looking at that big cake and Zuma is becoming a decider in KZN. If ANC is not careful, they are going to lose it. So now it is a big fight. The ANC on the other hand says, we are banning you, we are suspending you, and we are taking everything that belongs to the ANC, which is the MK party. Zuma says, since well that you are suspending me and I've decided I'm no longer going to be supporting you, game on. Let me increase my support, let me fight and win the election, because according to Zuma, the only thing that they are facing is winning the election. But the question is, can Zuma be a president if they win the election? Is he willing to go to parliament and be a member of parliament if they get 2 seats? Because you do that, you put more stress in you. And as much as we have not seen the leadership of the MK as yet, are we really going to be shocked when those elections come? Because you might be sitting here wondering that, well, Zuma or the MK party means nothing. And when you go to the election, they decide at the last minute that that support that we have, we are taking it to one party, which we are going to contest the ANC, similar to what DA is doing with that moonshot pact with other parties. The MK party might decide to defeat the ANC. We don't need to do it ourselves. We need to work together with some of the parties, so that by coming together, that ANC will be taken down. So the major goal is to take ANC from 50% to below 50, probably 45%. But the fight is a big one. The ANC doesn't want to lose. Zuma wants to make revenge, especially against Ramaphosa. Is he going to win? There is Fikile Mbalula, who's forever speaking, and he says that Zuma was a disturbance to the formation. So it's good riddance when Zuma is gone. Is it going to be Zuma versus Ramaphosa, or is it going to be Zuma versus the ANC? Because whatever that is happening, the ANC is going to make sure that Zuma regrets the day that he decided to abandon voting for the ANC.